Welcome, Douglas County. My name is Kelly Robinson. This is District Dialogue, and I represent the 2nd District. We've got a very special show today. We've got a special guest here that we're going to get into and introduce you to Douglas County, our very new, brand new probate judge, Christina Peterson. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
I, and state your name,
I, Christina J. Peterson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will well
that I will well
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the judge
of the judge
of the probate court
of the probate court
for the County of Douglas
for the County of Douglas
during my continuation
during my continuation
in office according to the law to the best of
my knowledge
and ability, without favor or affection to any party, and that I will only receive my legal fees. I do further solemnly affirm that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state or any political subdivision or authority thereof, that I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state, which I am prohibited from holding by the laws of the state of Georgia, and that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution of the United States and laws of Georgia, and that I will support the constitutions of the United States and of this state, so help me God. Thank you. That's your first oath, and then there's a loyalty oath.
All right.
Same thing. I, and state your name,
I, Christina J. Peterson,
a citizen of Douglas County, and being an employee of Douglas County,
and
the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia, so help me God. Thank you.
Welcome back, Douglas County. Again, my name is Kelly Robinson. I'm Vice Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, but also representing Commission District 2, which is very, very important. And I've got a very special guest here, Judge Christina J. Peterson. Yes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Very good. So we just watched your swearing-in ceremony, and it was, how'd you feel about that, coming in?
Oh, it felt, anxious, but I enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it's a milestone in order, to say I swore in, I'm a judge. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that the people of Douglas County elected me to serve as their probate judge. That is a big thing. The win, it was beautiful that how the residents and the citizens came behind me and stood with me. I'm grateful.
Very good, very good. I mean, again, that's always a special moment. I mean, I obviously was on out there as well with you, getting sworn in for my 4th and final term.
Yes. But no, hopefully not.
Yeah, yes. No, but to that point, but it's always, I enjoy that moment. I'm there with my sons, and that's important, my mother, because there's a personal thing to it.
Right.
Running for office is sacrificial.
Yes.
No, it's very sacrificial. And so it's one of those where that's my moment. That's a family moment, right? It's intimate. And so you have just that moment to bear witness. Then you have to get to work and stuff. So what we want to do in this show, citizens, is introduce you to our new probate judge. And we're going to talk a little bit about sort of, again, her aspirations and where she wants to go. And then, again, we're filming this in December, but this is brand new in the scheme of things.
Yes.
And so here we are in January, 1st of the year. And so we're turning the page. We just finished our 150th birthday in Douglas County. And now look at us. We just brand new, And so talk to us about the probate. Let's just start there. What are the fundamentals of a probate? Because everybody doesn't know. I mean, a lot of people, you may know other types of judges, you may know a judge in general.
Right.
But nobody knows the difference between a judge is a judge is a judge.
That's right.
Take a few minutes and introduce what a probate judge is, please.
Well, historically, your probate was a catch-all court. So historically, your probate did elections. So we have an election supervisor and a board of electors, but a board of elections. But now we have the separate. The probate does the probate, the elections does the elections. We have traffic. Historically, the probate did traffic court. However, now you have the state court that handles that. So the probate in some counties might do elections, they might do traffic, they might do probate, they might do licensing, they might do vital records. There's a lot of different things that they may do. In Douglas County specifically, we only do licensing, we only do probate, and we do vital records. So anything that is done by managing your estate, helping your family members if they become in a position where they can't care for themselves. We handle guardianships. We handle your vital records, your wills, your birth certificates, death certificates. We license, marriage license, gun permits, things like that. So that's what the probate court does. It's a very important court because when you have, I don't know if you've ever lost a loved one, but if you've lost a loved one, if they had no will or if they did, you have to probate that will. If they didn't, you have to determine where their assets are going, and you have to make sure that people are not abusing those assets or abusing that money and making sure they're going to the appropriate places. So that's what your judge does, make sure your assets and your family members are protected.
Well, I mean, and again, so that was a lot. So you do that much. I mean, I really knew. I mean, you're on the first floor of the courthouse, and there's two parts that I heard. So there's births and deaths.
Yes.
Which at some point we'll all come across equally. And so again, those who are parents out there and they're looking for a birth certificate or something like that, do they come to your office? I mean, how does it work? I mean, do I mail something in, I come to, how do I get this information? Because some people just don't know, so let's not assume that they know. So if I'm trying to get a birth certificate or a death certificate, how do I access that information?
Well, most of it now, current operations in the office, most things you have to come into the office for. Now, in my administration, I'm going to try to streamline things, whereas you don't have to come to the office for things it's not necessary for you to come to the office for. But for the death certificates, birth certificates, you have to come in the office. There's a fee for it. Okay. And, if you're privy to that information, it will be released to you. Yes. Now, death certificates also can be done through your funeral home. So you might be working with a funeral home in whatever county, and they need to order your death certificate. Sometimes they'll order it for you as part of your package. So that's another way. Right.
So what I hear are, to that point, vital records.
Yes.
Very important records.
That's right.
I need my birth certificate. I need a death certificate. That Second Amendment. That gun permit, all that comes through your office, which I know is important. Talk to us about the wills and estates, and just from that, I mean, conservatorship. Like, what does that mean, conservatorship?
Okay, well, that's different. So wills is, so everybody in Douglas, I say everyone needs to have a will. Everyone should have a will. As your probate court, we safekeep your wills for a fee. But if you have a will, file it with the probate court. I believe the fee is around $15 right now. File it with the probate court. If you have an updated will or amended will, you can always bring that in. But have a will, because it's a lot of issues. Even when people have a will, issues may arise, but it's better to have a will than not. Okay. So first of all, have a will. But if you don't have a will, there are different things to go, different ways to go. You have to probate your case, different ways. People will come in. It's really, basically, if you come to my court without an attorney, you can still file your petition. We are required to appoint an attorney to assist you. So this is not anything you're going to be, left out in the dark about.
When you say appointed attorney, is that like a public, not necessarily a public defender, but some outside counsel? Do you have attorneys on staff? How does that work?
Well, by law, it's required that now it's part of the fees initially when you file your petition, but yes. A court-appointed attorney is required on all cases. Okay. So you have 2 days to identify one on your file, and if you don't, the court must appoint a court-appointed attorney. And in other instances, we may appoint a guardian ad litem to monitor the case as well. Yes. So this is not something you have to go through on your own. We just want to make sure all parties are protected. So that's a different thing. If you don't either, that's a different thing, period. If you have to probate a will or if you don't have a will. Now, regarding conservatorships, it's different. Yes. Conservator and guardianship. So a conservatorship is when you're trying to protect an estate, money. Guardianships are when you're looking over a person, a ward.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So if somebody is not able to care for themselves and you're saying, oh, my family member, my grandmother, oh my God, she can't care for herself. She's, or she might be spending her money, her maybe dementia type thing, and she needs somebody to be her guardian, then you come in and try to get a guardianship.
Gotcha.
Conservatorships, the same thing. You have someone with a significant amount of money, maybe small or large, any type of amount of money, right. And they're trying to be over someone's money.
Right.
In my office, under my administration, I plan to, I used to be a prosecutor, yes. And I know a lot of fraud and forgery going on, especially when it comes to a lot of money. So I do.
In Douglas County or just in general in that space that people, American greed type stuff?
I think it's America. I think I've seen it. We've prosecuted a lot of frauds, a lot of forgeries, a lot of identity frauds in Douglas County. But what I'm saying is, in the event of somebody having a lot of money and somebody coming in saying, hey, I need to be conservator over Commissioner Robinson's estate, I'm going to fingerprint you. Okay. That's what under my administration we're going to start doing. They were not fingerprinted. So anybody could come in and they could have a record, if you did their fingerprint, you might see that they have wire fraud, different things like that. It's my choice.
Right.
I decide who's going to be over your estate. And I don't want anybody that's not trustworthy. I don't want anybody taking advantage of someone who's not able to care for themselves. You're not going to take advantage of any citizen of Douglas County under my watch. So I do plan on implementing fingerprinting on our guardianships and conservatorships.
Right. So again, I'll me, I tend to be transparent. So, for example, let's say my eyes are going down. Let's say in 10 to 15 years, I probably will not be able to see. So in that case, I probably will have the need for a guardian. Mm-hmm. Is that true? So I would come to okay, I probably would want to get ahead of this.
That's right.
And try to work something out. And you would appoint somebody over to make sure, okay, I need somebody to log on to make sure my money is where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Are the rules in there? What does that mean? I'm talking to the average citizen. Yes. I know sometimes they ask those questions. So, I'm your case study. So go ahead.
Well, you file a petition. Anybody if you have identified someone that you want to be your guardian or conservator, then they need to file their appropriate documents with the probate court.
Right.
Again, they still have to go through the measures, and it's ultimately up to the judge who's going to be appointed to your estate. Right. If the judge doesn't feel like the person you've presented is going to do good by you or your estate, then the court can appoint their own guardian or conservator. So there's a court-appointed guardian or conservator. And at this time in my office, I'm putting out the word. I'm looking for putting out that word. We need people who are interested in being guardian ad litems, court-appointed attorneys. We're looking for people who can be conservators, different things like that. So I'm sending the word out.
So you're outsourcing. You're picking people in the community. So you
Absolutely.
will engage.
And I do vet them.
Okay.
So I run your background too, like everybody else. So we're vetting people who can assist. I understand the current administration does use a couple of people, but we don't want to overwork them. This court is changing. My court is not a traditional probate court. It's changed to an Article 6 probate court. We have expanded jurisdiction, expanded job duties, and it's more volume. It's high volume. So I don't want to have just 2 people available for these cases. I want them to be able to commit the time to adequately take care of these accounts, take care of these estates and the people.
So you've got inclusion that you're trying to make sure that sounds like you're expanding the status quo, which is something that's always important to me. There's other people that can add value. It's nothing like competition. But I want to come back to, so we award these, and this is just for the public's sake, that, but who monitors it? I mean, you got them into the game.
That's right.
But how do we account for those people? Like, how do I know they're not draining me out the back door?
There you go.
And again, you mentioned something about you being a prosecutor and stuff, and right here in Douglas County. And so, tell me how would you ensure that, okay, we establish something to monitor me? I mean, is there a checkpoint? Is there 6 months? I mean, is there some reports? I mean, how does it work?
Under my administration,
yes.
What we're going to do is we're going to require annual reporting. So initially, when someone gets on the case, they have to give an initial asset. They have to list out all of the assets, all of the reporting, and then annually, you have to submit reportings. And then there's receipts and everything that has to be sent to the ward as well. But now some judges can write off, they can say, oh no, you don't have to do annual reports. You don't have to send me anything. And that's less work for the judge, but that's not protecting you. So that's why one of the things I asked for when I was talking to the Board of Commissioners asking for my budget, I asked for a fiduciary compliance officer. And that's per code, Georgia law. It states that we must review annual returns. We must cite people who don't send in their annual returns and have them send those in. So that's a accountability factor. I need someone in my office that's only monitoring, you need to have your return in on this day. So-and-so didn't send their return in. We need to schedule a court hearing, have them come in and understand why you didn't send this information in, because I need to monitor my account, these people. And also we have another thing where on cases where there's a significant amount of money, my administration will require a bond. So the bond is through an insurance agency. So say your estate is worth $2 million. So you'll have to get a bond in that amount. So if you screw over the money, the ward is still protected.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, I do.
Some judges don't require bonds. So if somebody misses over your money's gone. I'm going to require bonds, and on estates especially, that it makes sense. Just in case it happens, in the event it happens, even though we have these other precautions, fingerprinting, all that, you never know what happens. But money is very important. I'm very good at budgeting. I'm very good at monitoring my money and anybody I've helped get their finances together. I want to make sure your money is also protected, especially when you're in a position where you can't do that yourself.
And I appreciate, and again, it's the key word you mentioned was fiduciary, right? It's that trust.
That's right.
You took that oath. Right, and it matters. And when I think about, and I'm listening to you because it's almost like you've been doing this. You're called to this because I'm like, but in listening to you, most citizens know judges to being on that criminal side.
Yes.
But the more I listen to you, like, okay, you've got a very important function. We may not know much about it, but you are constitutional. I mean, if we think about the constitutional officers, those are the ones established by within the Georgia U.S. Code. You've got what, a tax commissioner?
Yes.
You got the sheriff, you've got Superior Court clerk, and now you got probate. So it's only 4?
Yes.
You're one of the 4.
Right.
Welcome aboard.
Well, thank you.
And the youngest ever.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. and that's important. And so we appreciate.
Well, the youngest ever, Article 6.
Article 6.
Because
we'll give you that.
Yeah, as Article 6, you have to be at least 30, but you have had to have 7 years of practice as a lawyer. So
you have to be a lawyer.
You have to be a lawyer. So initially for probate judges, and in 127 counties, you're only required to be 25 and a high school diploma.
So we've never had an attorney run that very important function, but now since we have reached a certain size and now it's no more grandfathering.
That's right.
You guys got to raise your game.
That's
and
right.
We're expecting more out of you now. You got more people.
Right.
You probably got enough assets and you need to do it right.
That's right.
Okay. I appreciate that. And I'm going to bring us full circle. So again, to the audience, you've learned a lot about what the probate judge, giving you some insight. I'm sure you're going to allow them to come visit you from time to time.
Absolutely.
Well, wait, I forgot one. Do you do weddings?
Yes.
Okay, so what is that function? How does that fit in? I mean, when you hear a lot of times when people say, I got to go down to City Hall or to the courthouse, if somebody wanted to get, what does that mean? I mean, what is that experience?
First of all, you apply for a marriage license. People, you can't marry yourself. Just throw that out there. I know I heard other probate judges say, one person came in their office trying to marry himself. He called it sologamy or something. So I don't know. But listen, you can't marry yourself as long as it's another person. We can make it happen for you. But come in, apply for a marriage license. Once you get the license, you have the marriage isn't official until you have a ceremony. You have a choice to do whatever you want to do with your ceremony. You can do it with me. You can do it with a pastor at a church. You can do it wherever you want. You can do it in Vegas. It's official once you do that ceremony and whoever married you signs off on it. After you do that, you have to file your license back with the probate. You must send that marriage license back.
Okay.
However, if you don't, the marriage will still be valid. We've seen people that have not filed the marriage license and think they can tear it up and the marriage is done. No, it's still valid. It's still a marriage, even though you haven't filed it with the probate. But the proper protocol is get the license, have the ceremony, hopefully with me, and then file that file it back with the court. Now, I will offer. I really am. I'm looking into how I'm going to handle it. If people want individual ceremonies, I definitely will make myself available. I do want to do group ceremonies, and music is my background. I might have a little musician in there just to get the mood going, and then so that's something I'm looking into. So if people are interested in a group ceremony with a little music and some decor, then it might be a thing coming in the near future.
Very good, very good. This has been a very great conversation, as we say here on District Dialogue. It's something that we think is important to get people introduced to various aspects of our county. And so I'm going to bring this full circle as we close out. But why did you run? Why did you run?
Why did I run? Honestly, I was brought to Douglas County in around 2015 to be a prosecutor. I was appointed as assistant district attorney. And when I came in the county, I just, you're in the courts, you're in the system, you see what's going on. Yes. And I saw what was going on. I saw the change that was necessary. And so my spirit and my commitment to public service didn't allow me to see it and let it go dormant and not fixed. So, I became active in the community. I was a foster parent. I worked closely with DFACS. I take in abused and neglected kids. I was in that realm. I was in the community realm in the courthouse, and I saw the changes that were necessary. So I ran for office previously, and we have from that, I didn't win that race. Afterwards, 2 years later, I heard about Judge Hamrick retiring, and I said, okay, probate, I've had to go. I've had to utilize that court. I've been in that court. I understand what it's about, and it's really important to me. Yes. And the compassion I have for people and families, it will work. So, I'm here in Douglas County. I'm committed to the county, so that's why I ran. It's like, okay, this is what you're gonna do. I said, I put it out there. I stepped forward, and if God's will be, it will be, is what I said. So it was God's will, and it was the citizens that came behind me and said, it's our will too. We want you here. So somebody emailed me and said, thank you for never giving up on Douglas County. And I'm saying, Christina J. Peterson, your probate judge, I'm telling Douglas County, thank you for not giving up on me.
And on that note, we'll close it with that. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's welcome our brand new probate judge, Christina J. Peterson.
Thank you.
My name is Kelly Robinson, and I really do appreciate you guys tuning in to this This year is 2021, the very first show of District Dialogue. I'm Kelly Robinson, Vice Chairman of the Board of Commissioners and Commissioner of District 2. I look forward to serving you as well. I've got a town hall that will be coming up. We're still going to do things as much as we can virtually. We want you guys to be safe out there. And don't, by the way, we do have our masks. We are doing right. And we just want to pause for just now. So you guys stay safe, be well, and I'll talk to you soon.